Good morning. Welcome, friends. Gonna get my Windows sorted out here and make sure I'm logged into the game. That would be a good start. How you guys doing today? Let's see, I need this one. I turned this on before I was ready, and that seemed like a great idea at the time. And wow would be a good start. Get some chat going. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday, Brass Rose. Hello, everybody. Hello, how are things? Things are... It's always hard to answer that question first thing in the morning. Nothing's really happened yet. It's been a pretty typical morning. What is on my glasses? Oh, it's gone now. Huh. No. I am about 22 minutes away from just getting really fed up with my hair and putting it back in the ponytail it belongs in. But that's alright. This one comes down here. Good morning. I have some tea. And let's start some mat runs so that we can get that cooldown rolling. Also, hang on. I'm seeing some concerning signs from my dashboard. Why does it say that my stream is not healthy? My stream eats vegetables. They get lots of sleep. They have healthy relationships and they treat people with respect. I don't know what's... Oh, my viewers may be... But why? Hang on. Am I doing this right? Don't say I need to restart. Let's see. Output, streaming. Yeah, it's rescaled. Should be fine. Nothing else going on. I'm not downloading, am I? No, I'm good. Alright, well, hopefully that clears up. Okay. Hope we're all good. Having a great day. I do not want to play vanilla. Cool planted tank? Why, thank you. This is the living room tank. You can see, I've zoomed out a little bit so we can see a little more of it. We got Neff, the Bolivian Ram there. He's quite mad, as is his custom. He's an angry boy. He would prefer if I fed him. And I will. I'll feed him later. Probably not on stream. Although maybe on stream. I don't know. Silly girl, it's lunchtime. I wouldn't say that I just woke up, but I will say that I haven't really had any tea yet. Takes a while. Takes a minute. It takes a minute to get going. Oh yeah, right. I was gonna start my mount runs. Okay, so I'm gonna do ZG first, and then I am going to open my chest. Hang on. This one. There we go. ZG first. And then opening the chest, because I'll have a weekly cache, and then I will also, on my Resto Druid, have a PvP cache, which, incidentally, I had one of those last week, and I just forgot to open it. I'm going to get myself... Oh, yeah, I got a mount off-stream, not like a drop mount, but I got enough badges finally to purchase the Crow Lusk, and I'm kind of in love with it. It's kind of awesome. It's like, I love the way it's kind of articulated, like it moves... I like the way the different plates of it move. I love the fact that it has shell piercings. I'm really into this thing. So I've been riding that around. Although that was not a drop mount, just a currency mount. Wish my tank looked like yours, wasn't infested with bladder and pond snails. Mine may be headed that way because I have made some discovery, not bladder and pond snails, but I have Malaysian trumpet snails, and it's completely my fault because the origin of the trumpet snail in my tank, I had... Hang on, this camera is, like, showing a little too much belly button. My forehead's being cut off. Is this not the right lever? There we go. Better. So I bought the corridors, right? The little panda corridors, you can see them on the bottom there. And I got those from a fish store, and the store that they came from had their tank just infested with Malaysian trumpet snails. It was like... half of the bottom of the tank was Malaysian trumpet snails. And one of them got swept into the bag with the corridors, and they had a 2 or 3 week quarantine period in a bare quarantine tank. And that little snail, he just kind of like went in there. And then I felt bad for him because he lived through that entire like 2 to 3 weeks of quarantine in a bare tank that with like nothing to eat. And he was like a tough little dude. So I was like, all right, you're just one snail. What's the worst thing that can happen? So I pop him in the main tank, and you like don't see him again for ages because Malaysian trumpet snails are like the cone-shaped ones. This is going to be some snail talk, by the way. So if you don't like that, then that sucks. So they're little cone-shaped snails, and they spend most of their time burrowing at your substrate. And people like these because they will sort of like loosen up your substrate so it doesn't get too impacted. It's good for plant roots, and it can also help prevent anaerobic gas pockets from forming in your substrate. Like if there was a piece of food that like got all the way down there and then it rotted and it created gas and that formed like a pocket, those can be dangerous if they get like unearthed later, supposedly. I've never seen it happen, but theoretically they keep the substrate turned over, and that's all good. And I figured, no, it's just one snail, so it's just gonna be one snail. This is my pet snail, and it's fine. And it turns out that Malaysian trumpet snails are parthenogenic, which means that they can reproduce all by themselves. You don't need a boy and a girl. I don't even think there are boys and girls. There's just one kind, and they can just have babies all by themselves. And another fun fact, they're actually live-bearing snails, so they don't lay eggs like other snails. They just poop out babies. They just poop out baby snails. The babies are born with 2 whorls of their shell already intact, which sounds like it's sharp, coming off your snail body. The moral of the story is I have Malaysian trumpet snails now. The mama, the big one, is like big now. She's like a whole inch long, and I don't really mind because they do have a good purpose in the tank. And it is helping eat algae. It's like the only one that actually pays attention to the algae that's on the plants. I see it like climbing up the Anubias every now and then. So that's good. But it could be a problem later. It's hard to get rid of snails if you don't want them. Okay, have you taken it out for a walk? The Malaysian trumpet snail? No. Dinner is ready. Bon appetit. Game of Thrones trailer dropped. I will say that I'll check that out, and then I won't, because I'm not a big trailer watching person. I'd rather, like, they're almost never, I don't know. I'll get hyped for the thing when I can do it. Why am I not allowed in here? Dungeon difficulty set to heroic. Did I just walk in and then walk out? I bet that's what happened. Let's try again. Let's walk in. There we go. Okay. What do you think next week of the incoming A15 patch? I am delightfully excited. What do you guys think? We're 1 week out. 1 week out. I want Bruce the Crocolisk mount from the Brawlers Guild very badly. I'm putting together a real short video that just kind of like covers the new mounts of the patch that I'm hoping to be done today on, and Bruce has the #1 spot because I love him. Greetings from the UK. Greetings. Favorite expansion? I'm going to anger some people and say Cataclysm, because that was my golden age. I loved Cataclysm. It brought so many good things to the game. I had a blast. It was my first time raiding. I had a blast raiding. It made pet collecting account wide, so I didn't have to keep collecting pets on every character that I decided that I wanted to play next. I enjoyed Cataclysm greatly. Happy Tuesday, Hazel and everyone. Happy Tuesday. That's a cool mount. This is the Light Forged Warframe. Costs 500,000 gold and requires you to be exalted with the Army of Light up on Argus. But I like it quite a bit. I've decided that now that my Light Forged Paladin can tank. No, that's not the right word. Different verb. Now that my Light Forged Paladin can fly. There we go. She needed a Light Forged themed flying mount. So that's the one I've been riding around on my Paladin lately. I'm not wearing any headphones and I can't hear any game music, and it looks like you guys can't either, so I should turn those on. They're on my desk. Alright, attempt number 182? 183? Yeah, that was 182. And that was no good. So, next one will be attempt 183. But first, hang on. First let's turn on a very, very low background of sound. There we go. And then, what am I doing? Oh yeah, weekly chest. Okay, so I'm going to hearth back home with my lovely, oh no, that's my Headless Horseman's Hearthstone, that's right. I was looking for a macro that would pick a random toy out of a predefined list of toys, because I wanted to press a button and have it use a random Hearthstone. And I found that macro is harder to create than you might think. But there is an add-on that does it, and it's literally called like Random Hearthstone. Like that's the whole point of the add-on. All the add-on does is generate a macro that does that. And then once I started using it, I found I didn't like it anymore. I wanted to actually pick and choose which Hearthstone I wanted to use. So that's where I've been at. Got my ZG Raptor last Wednesday. 237 attempts. Congrats, Lover UI. Thank you. I'm quite partial to it. I think it's clean. It's not symmetrical, which I know upsets some people, but it works for me. It does the job. Okay, what do I want? Actually, that's a dumb game to play. Let's just see what we get. We got a belt. Yeah. No, I don't think so. Nilsaurus, thank you for the super chat. It's Hazel. So happy. Does your guild ever have healing problems? Should I never sign off a raid if I'm one of the main healers? Sometimes we do, but usually the thing that helps our guild with that is that we'll have our healers, and then we also have a couple of DPS players that have healing specs with gear. Like they'll have Azurite sets and trinkets for their healing spec. So if one of our healers is sick or has something else, somewhere else they gotta be that night, they can, one of our DPS can flip over. I probably should be one of those people. I'm kind of working on it with like a couple of pieces of Azurite gear, but I need some trinkets still. But that's the way we handle it. I don't think that, I always feel like it's good to go to if you're committed to being part of a raiding guild, that ideally, assuming this is the culture your guild has, you should be at as many raids as you can. But, like, don't skip, like, the birth of your child, or, you know, if you're sick, you're sick, and, like, if you're sick to the point you can't play, you're sick. Or, like, you know, your wife's sick or something and you gotta take care of her. Like, life happens, and life is more important than WoW. But, if you're me and you don't have much of a life, then not much gets in the way. I don't miss a whole lot of raid nights. Do I like the machine mounts? What machine mounts? Do a video showing the best way to get to the old places the portals used to take us to? That's an interesting take on it. It's going to depend a lot on what your individual character has access to. Like, different classes will have their own teleports, and then I guess there's items you could get. But yeah, something I could look at, maybe. Thank you for the super chat. I didn't catch your message before it was retracted, but I appreciate the support. Put all of the Hearthstone toys in your bars and pick your favorites at the time. That's, like, a lot of bar spots, though, especially because, like, if we look at the toy box and we look at Hearthstones, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them right now, and we're getting another 3 added. 7 is a lot of bar spots for Hearthstones. I feel like I can have 1, and then I'll just switch them out when I feel like, ooh, I could make some money today. Seal of Haste, huh? Seal of Haste. Do I have the stuff to make some Seal of Hastes? Hey, I can actually do this for myself right now. Dope. I'm gonna do this for me, and then maybe I'll make some to sell later. I am still, like, farming... I'm still farming, 7th Legion rep and, like, service medals, even though I have both mounts and the pet and the ring. I guess I still want the toy. It was funny, I looked up, the Glaive Tosser toy on Wowhead, and, there isn't even a screenshot of it. Like, there's no comments of people talking about what it does, there's just people being like, this is on the vendor, and there's not even a screenshot, so, I'm gonna try and get that. Cool hair. What is your natural color? It is naturally a dark brown. There are hundreds and hundreds of videos on my channel if you go back to like 2017 and earlier. I only dyed it like a year ago. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the super chat. TNECNIW. I have heard this discussion a lot. I'm curious what you think. Do you think BFA is as bad as WoD? Is it on the same level of lack of quality and content? So I think that WoD... No, I think it's being massively overblown, honestly. I think WoD had a lack of content. There was not enough to do in Warlords. BFA does not have that problem. There are a lot of valid complaints you can make about BFA, but there not being enough content, I think is ridiculous. There's so much content that I haven't even done the Siege of... I mean, that's a personal thing, it doesn't matter, but like, there is a lot to do. The question of whether you want to do it is a more personal and subjective thing. I don't think, well, I would say that BFA has less popular decisions with, like, the Azurite armor, but people in Warlords, after the initial novelty wore off, hated Garrisons. Garrisons, as a whole, are arguably more damaging to the game than Azurite armor was. Especially the current implementation of Azurite armor. Like, original Azurite armor was pretty bad. The current version of it is better, and its 8.2 is only looking up from here. So no, I don't think BFA is as bad as Warlords. I think that there is plenty of content to do, and the main things that were holding it back originally have been largely fixed. There's still some problems, but I would put them on par with the problems that we had, like in Legion. You know, in Legion we had the whole legendary system, And Legion Legendaries were great by the end of the expansion when you had them all. Not so hot early on when you needed one to do all of your damage and you like couldn't get it. And people still love Legion now, so I think that it's there's problems with it, and there's valid complaints to be made. And if you're not having fun, there's no reason to play. But I'm having a lot of fun, and I think it's being kind of victimized by like the online negativity spiral that is a popular thing to have happen these days. Okay, war chest, gear. I have lots of upgrades that could happen, so please don't give me something I don't need. What do we get? We got a cape. All right, I'll take a cape. I used to, like, before the cape I'm wearing now, I had an item level 300 crafted cape on for like forever. And then I finally broke down. I spent like 12k in the auctionist to buy myself a 385. But this is still a solid 20 item levels up, so I will absolutely replace that. Alright, let's head to Gurub. Let's make make use of the Karazhan portal while we still can. This is the last week I'm going to be able to cheat like this. The add-on that tracks how many times I've tried for the mount is called Rarity. I have all of the Legion Paragon mounts. I have every single one of them. Is that true? Hang on. I think that's true. Yeah, I have all the Legion Paragon mounts. I don't have the Vulpine or the Fox. I don't have the Nightfall and Fox mount. And I don't have the Khadgar's floating orb pet either. But I have all of the mounts. I remember Stormheim. I don't even remember the name of that rep anymore. But the Stormheim, the Valarjar, I don't know. That rep was the one that absolutely took me the longest. I was grinding that on like several characters right towards the end of the expansion before the last one dropped for me. In VoD, you stood around with 200 people in Gorgon waiting for Pound Fist to spawn. So in VoD, I would log in for Raid. I would every single day log into like 12 characters, pick up my free Garrison Gold. Why can't I fly? Let me just be a bird. I'd pick up my free Garrison Gold. I would do the Garrison Pet Battle Daily on 12 characters, which took like an hour and a half, was excruciatingly boring, but was very effective for leveling pets and stuff, and getting pet charms. And then I would log in for Raid, and that was mostly it. I ran out of stuff to do real early and decided, heck it, I'm gonna PvP because I heard that's fun. And WoD wasn't even a great expansion to be PvPing in, but there wasn't anything else to do, so I spent a lot of time queuing Arena. And that was it. that was WoD for me. The raids were good. Got Raptor at 150-ish, but the Panther doesn't want to drop, currently at 218. Do you know how many tries it took to get the Stormwing? I don't think I know. The Paragon caches were not being correctly tracked by Rarity for a while, and I don't think I had Rarity installed for the entirety of my grind for the Valar Stormwing. It was a lot. I don't remember the exact number, though. I know I got lucky with at least one of them. I think it was the Dream Runner, and I was excited because I really wanted that one. It was the Dream Runner or maybe the Hippogriff from Asuna that happened really early for me. PFA is great. I use all the downtime to go back and do Legion content. I can't find any downtime for the life of me. I'm trying to queue like a little bit more in this character. And maybe like kind of sort of work towards some sabers. My buddy has been nice enough to queue with me, so we got some 2s done. And then we're like pugging 3s. Which is slow. Also, I'm awful. But I'm having a hard time scraping out time for it. Also, there's just so many things that I want to do, and it's really hard when I've got all of these really cute fish, and I just want to hang out with the fish. I had the most ridiculous algae issue. I had like entire like hipster beards of green hair algae in my 10-gallon tank in here, the minnow tank. I know why. I had the lights on for way too long early on, and I had started dosing plant fertilizers before the plants had really come in. It was dumb of me, and I've learned my lesson. But I had just, like, insane amounts of green hair algae, so I took a whole bunch of time on the weekend to, like, sit down and, like, I couldn't even pull it off. I had to, like, trim it. I had to take, like, my big scissors and, like, give it a haircut before I could actually pull some of it off. And then there's some of my snails are taking a vacation in there right now. I got the Witherbark Direwing on the first try. Congrats! I like the Garrison as a concept, and I think it could work if it was polished. The problem with it was that it isolated you too much as a player, and you could very easily play WoD and very rarely see another player. Like, if you didn't raid, this was before World Quest, so if you didn't raid, you would almost, you didn't really have, it was like the most single player that I think WoW has ever been, and that didn't have a good effect on the feel of the game. The game's got problems right now, but at least, you know, there's people around, and I see them, and I can give them my fortitude buff. Okay, where am I going? I'm leaving. Do I not have a Hearthstone? Oh yeah, that's right. I deleted it in favor of the toy. Also, good thing to know about that random Hearthstone toy add-on, if you do decide to try it, it does automatically delete your Hearthstone, which is fine because you have toys, but some people are not expecting it, and they get a little spooked. A little spooked. You can get your Hearthstone back at any time by talking to any innkeeper. What world drop do you want the most right now? I want that I should learn the name of it because it'll be more convincing, but I want that hyena, that sand-colored hyena from Vol'dun. I have not been grinding it. I don't have the heart. I want to grind for it on stream, but I also don't think that I can. I think that, like, a really mindless grind like that, I'll just have no ability to come up with anything to talk about, and I'll feel really bad that I'm being boring. But yeah, I want to work on that one. The hyenas are really cool. I just RP in BFA and sometimes do content. You can go to the Dark Portal after they get rid of the Kara Portal. You can actually, right now, you could go, like, Hellfire and then go back through the Dark Portal. But what you can do in 815 is there is an Honor Hold Mage NPC in the Portal room. For Alliance, it is downstairs at the lower level of the Mage Tower, and then for Horde, it's just in the Portal room. Talk to the Honor Hold Mage, and they will teleport you directly to the Dark Portal in Blasted Land. So that one is still intact. It's not obvious because it's not like a portal, but it is still there. It's a little bit strange. 2 or 3 dailies at a time and sign off. I just made the slightly... Man, all of my characters now are, like, Hearthstone-less, and I'm going to have to grab a toy in all of them. I made the Discovery. I don't know if any of you remember, back in Legion, I made a video that was talking about this guild tracking spreadsheet, and it would track, like, people's artifact levels, it would track their world quests done, it would track their mythic dungeons done, that kind of thing. It was like a leaderboard for your guild in terms of content done, and I made a video about how to do that, and I also went a little crazy because, I don't know, leaderboards, they do things to people. Went a little crazy trying to top the categories that I decided that I could do. And I just found out this last week. Just found out that there's one for BFA. And I saved a link to the one that's running for our guild. And the good news is that I was already winning. So that I don't need to rearrange my life too much. Not in every category. There's a bunch of people that do Mythic Dungeons that do a lot of Mythic Dungeons, and I usually only do my weekly. But for World Quest and for neck level, I'm doing pretty good. But could always do more. You can still get a Vicious Saddle. It is not regardless of rating anymore. You need to be at least 1400 rating or above. How many mounts people have? Yesterday I was stuck at 249. Logged onto my Paladin. So the thing that's changing your number is that the number that counts for mount collecting meta achievements is your total usable mounts on a character. So some mounts will be only usable on characters with a certain profession. A lot of them will be only usable on characters of a specific class. Like you said, your paladin gets their free paladin mount. So that's going to bump up the number. There are Horde and Alliance specific mounts that only count when you are in one or the other faction. So you could have more or less of those. So that's what's going to make the number jump around depending on which character you're logged in on. But if you log in on one character that earns the mount and you get the achievement, that mount is now yours, even if you're only at like 298 on a different character. Dune Scavenger. Yeah, that's the one. You got one? Oh, I'm so jealous. 90 attempts in on my main for the Blazing Drake, going for 91. I wish you good luck. Got into WoW for the first time, but feel overwhelmed with the endgame content. I feel that I will be unable to change my main if I make too much progress. Yeah, that's kind of the kicker with reps, isn't it? Almost everything else, they've done a really good job of making appropriately account-wide so that if you can keep your progress, but reps specifically. The good news is that if you're just worried about the number of reps you've collected for rep collecting meta achievements like the titles, the Beloved, and like the Pure Heart Courser, those will count account-wide. You don't need to have all the reps collected on one character, but if you're trying to, like, max out the green bars, then it is best to settle on a main and stick with one, because otherwise you will have to do them again. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I guess you could, if you're new and you're feeling a little overwhelmed, there's nothing wrong with doing reps and rep grinds later. And there's other areas that you can collect that will still apply even if you switch your character a lot. So you can do mount collecting, pet collecting, achievement collecting, transmog collecting, title collecting, and all of that progress will continue to apply to any new character that you decide to switch to later on down the road. Dang, you are like super creative with character names, right? I like being recognizable in guild chat. I like being able to be in guild chat or like just on the guild roster and have people immediately know that that's Hazel. Would the garrison system work if they made it guild-based rather than player-based? The only argument against it that I've heard is that it would be like the Cataclysm guild system. What do they have for guilds in Cataclysm? Like, Cataclysm brought guild leveling, and that was weird. That's kind of cool. It was weird. But I would love a guild-based garrison. There are probably, I'm on the wrong character, this one won't do me any good. There's probably reasons why it wouldn't be a good place for them to spend their time. I can't think of them right now. Maybe they'd do it one day. Be kind of nice. I have damaged knees and can't sit for long. After some mount farming with my guild leader, we decided to hit up Sethic Halls. He got the Ravenlord mount. Congrats on him. Nice. The add-on was just called Random Hearthstone Toy, I think. RHT. Have you played any expansions before? Kata Wrath was the highest amount of subscribers throughout WoW's history. I did play in Wrath. I was bad in Wrath. I joined WoW towards the end of Wrath and didn't care for it much because I was new, I think. Also because there were some of my favorite things about WoW were added later on in the game. But anybody that's new to WoW or that remembers being new to WoW will remember that there is a huge, huge learning curve, especially if you don't come from a gaming or an MMO background. Like, WoW is kind of the first game that I, like, played seriously is the wrong word, but I wasn't, like, a super gamer before WoW. I was a band nerd. I liked bugs. What else did I do? Homework? I read books? Like, I didn't, like, play a lot of games. I played Neopets minigames, but WoW was really my first time spending a whole lot of time with like WASD and with hockey stuff. There was an MMO that I flirted with really briefly before WoW, but it's a huge learning curve if you're brand new to it, and I don't like that. I mean, I didn't like it at the time. I didn't like not knowing anything, and the community that I was playing with at the time was not very friendly or welcoming to people that didn't know much. They were rather impatient about it, which is understandable from the other side, but it's also not great as a new player, so I hated Wrath. I played through the whole thing, learned what I needed to know, and then by the time Cataclysm came around and I felt a little bit more in control of my own destiny, I had a much better time. Guild housing would be awesome. I would love a place where, like, you could have guild meetings. Like, that's, I think, at least once in Warlords. At least once we had, like, a guild meeting where we were having, like, a talk or a vote about something, and we all met up in somebody's garrison, and we were alliance, so we had the good garrison, and we all sat around that big, long table, and a couple people had to stand. Maybe I'm just dreaming this, but I remember us having a big meeting in that garrison, and it was, like, the coolest RP thing that I've ever seen in my life, because all of these people, you know, in a guild, a lot of people that you've never met, and they're in there as their characters that you've known for years, and it just feels like this is my WoW guild. We're having a meeting. I really am an elf, that kind of thing. It was fun. Got lucky this year and got the big love rocket. Congrats, Frank. That's awesome. Downloaded TSM today, made a few sales, then tried to tweak it and broke it. You should be able to, like, depending on what you were tweaking, if you, like, made an odd operation that you don't like, then you could always just delete it and start over again with a new one. But it depends on what you broke. I played Neopets minigames too. They were excellent. I spent a lot of time on Neopets. I'm sure they're all starving now, and that's fine. I really liked in Neopets you could make your store like your shop, and you could design it. Like it had that thing where you could have music autoplay, like that MySpace thing where you could have like a song for your Neopets shop page. And then I don't think I did too much of the coding. I don't even remember what kind of coding it was, but you could like set up your page in a way that game websites don't let you do anymore. I remember that was really cool. There were like places that I would always go to for food. I had like an omelet shop or something. I don't know. Analog Hazel digitized to WoW Hazel. Yeah. I kept my Neopets in the inn so that I wouldn't take care of them and just play the minigames. Dropping by to say hi. Hi, GTT. I remember how ridiculous it was that they wanted so much Neo points. So many Neo points for like food from the food shop. Like if you went into the food shop to buy your Neopet a burger to keep it hungry, it would cost you like a ton of money, and they would sell it like immediately because they were really limited stock and they didn't restock very often. So they would sell it super fast or really expensive. And all it did was feed your Neopet when you could just like go buy that big omelet in the desert and pick up a bunch of free eggs off the ground and feed your Neopets that. And that worked just fine. Oh, man. Now that you're a serious gamer, Hazel Apex Legends win. /S. Appreciate the /S. Oh, man. Serious gamer. I think being a serious gamer means realizing that serious gaming can mean anything you want it to be because it's a game. If that means getting into esports, that's great. If you want to collect 550 mounts, that's great. If you want to... Hang on, there's more mounts than that, aren't there? I have no idea how many mounts you can actually get because I don't have that many. If you want to get every single, like, weird achievement in the game, you go for it. Guild used to do guild yearly photos. That's cute. We had a couple, like, every now and then, if we killed a boss that was really hard for us, we would do the thing where you, everybody, like, gets in front of it for this kill screenshot. But we never had a guild website, I don't think. So, or at least I don't remember one. There was no place where those were posted as far as I know, so they probably just exist on, like, a couple of member hard drives. Take the portal to the Blasted Lands. It puts you so close to ZG. Does it put you closer than Hearthing to Fort Livingston, though? Blasted Lands. Yeah, it's pretty close. At least that'll be an option for after... well, I guess I'm still going to have the Hearthstones here. Neopets code was HTML. I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure, and I definitely don't remember doing it. I would be more proud of that if I was coding HTML as a kid. I would be excited about that, and I don't think I did. I saw that Neopet Scientology video over Sugar. I saw that. It was both really fascinating and kind of surprising. The only parts I remember from when I was actually playing Neopets were the ridiculous amounts of product placement. You should stream more days of the week. Your streams help with anxiety a lot. My anxiety? Your anxiety. All of our collective anxiety. The schedule that I have now works for me for now. I'm not against changing it eventually. Bathroom break, what happened? Not much. No mounts have dropped. The 750 mounts, faction specific. You don't get the other factions one. This is true. Guild meetings happen in the Trial of Valor on the Glowing Bridge. That is a glorious place for a guild meeting. What about in the dungeon that was by the Trial of Valor? There was like the feasting hall. That's a good spot. Metal straws from Amazon. I think there's a link in my Amazon shop, although I really need to clean that up one day. I've been putting it off for like a year. How do you make your gold? I try a lot of things. Lately, what I've been doing is mostly grinding a lot of BFA rep and getting Paragon caches that have like 4k gold, specifically the 7th Legion one. I've opened something like 23 7th Legion Paragon caches, which with like 4 to 5k gold in each one of them adds up pretty good. I also spam island expeditions, and I've been doing okay with selling the transmog that I get from those. I will, what else do I do? I try and flip epics, and I've had more success with that in past expansions. It's a little slow for me right now. I'm having a hard time actually making sales, so I've stopped investing because I wasn't turning it around. But I've been crafting enchants recently, actually, and that's a really competitive market to try and sell. There's a lot of competition for selling enchants, but if I don't have a life and I just reset my auctions all day, I can sell a couple enchants a day. What am I doing? That was attempt number 186, and that was a no-go. I'm just going to log out here. Mounts have become washed out because of the amount of them. Reskins aren't a good idea. I feel that way about pets. I think there are so many pets. And I'm excited when they add new pets, but there's so many and they're cool, but there's no way to really appreciate all of them. It's just you're overwhelmed. You're burnt out on them. Hi Hazel, how are you? And how is Flutta? I've been keeping my ears open for the stream while I was feeding the baby. Hi Tiffany and Tiffany's baby. I'm good. Flutta is good, kind of. He's not better. I've been like just kind of hoping in the heart of my hearts that one of these days I will wake up and he will just have like pooped his whole lump out and he'll be better. Because he's still acting normally, but he still has like a marble-sized lump on him and nothing is fixing it. So he's all right for now, but I don't really see him recovering. I don't know. We do Christmas cards with GM in Santa suit and the rest of our officers in elf suits and shrug. Oh, that's cute. I like that. How goes it? I just bought a new gaming PC and a Naga Trinity mouse. Super excited to play WoW with some pretty graphics. Congrats, Haley. It is like a whole new world when you go from, especially if you've been playing on like a really kind of scuffed rig before and you finally upgrade. It's like seeing all the detail and stuff is incredible. So happy for you. I do have archaeology mounts. I think I have all of them. I actually farmed the recipe for the sandstone drake back in Cataclysm. That took me a while. I have the, what do you call it? The, what are those things called? I guess if I can just search archaeology. Yeah, I have the blue Karaji battle tank, I have the Ekro, and I have the Raptor. Is there any other ones? Those and then the Sandstone Raptor? Yeah, I think I have all of those. I don't have as many TCG mounts as I thought I did. I was, every time somebody asked me that, I'm like, oh yeah, I have almost all these TCG mounts. I'm missing like one or two. I actually looked through Warcraft mounts and found out that I am missing more than one or two. I have quite a few of them, but I don't think that there's a good set of them that I definitely don't have. What mount is that? The mount I was riding before is the Ironbound Wraith Charger. This is a time-walking mount available off of the Wrath time-walking vendor. And then the Karaji battle tank is an archaeology pet. Pretty rare one. Took a long time. Yeah. I feel like I got off a little easy with the battle tank compared to the Sandstone Drake. Like, I did the Sandstone Drake during Cataclysm, when it was just farming Tol'vir archaeology sites and there weren't that many of them. Whereas the battle tank, I made use of, like, I think I ground that one out through, like, either Pandaria or Draenor archaeology, because at that point you could do any kind of archaeology, like the new ones anyways, and then box up your pristine artifacts and turn those in for fossil fragments. So that's, I'm pretty sure, hard to remember, but I'm pretty sure that's how I got the battle tank. Anyone else finds it weird if she stacks her action bars on the left side that high? Yeah, not everybody will like it. The reasoning behind that, and I can kind of show you what's going on. So I'm going to move them out. So there's two bricks, right? And those sit on the left side. They sit like just flush. My chat window's over here, kind of behind my camera. And bar 1 has this 12-button grid that corresponds directly to the 12 buttons in the center of my gamepad. So it matches up visually that way. And then the bar on the right is the exact same thing, except it's the 12 buttons on my mouse. So I have, like, the right bar is my right hand and the left bar is my left hand, and they just kind of make sense to me when I set them up that way. So it does look like a weird asymmetrical brick, but it makes the most sense to my brain, and it makes it a lot easier for me to pick up new keybinds whenever I move something around. I have no anxieties, I just choose not to talk to people. If it's working for you, there's nothing wrong with that. Started doing World Quest without picking up the weekly. Oh, is it weekly World Quest? Darn it! Me too. I did, I guess I'm only like 4 or 5 in the hole, but I did, oh, we get extra rep this week. This is my favorite week. Good for gold. Good for service medals. I Yeah, I did the invasion this morning, and then I think I did another one while I was like out there. So I missed that. But that's okay. Don't forget it's Darkmoon Fair too. So while you're at it, grab your Darkmoon Fair buff because that'll be an extra 10% rep on top of all of the reps that you get from Sign of the Emissary. Yeah, Fleta is my betta fish. He's got a bit of a lump. I've had him for about a year. He's had some good time. I wish I could have had him longer. They're supposed to live a lot longer than that, but things happen. I just wish I knew what. He is named after his name is technically, and I try not to correct people, but it's technically, his name is spelled Fleta. He is named after the Overwatch League player on the Soul Dynasty team, because I'm a Soul Dynasty fan. And also Fleta rules. How do you get the TCG mounts in the actual packs or some other way? I bought the codes. I bought the codes on, was it eBay or a code buying website? I don't remember. They came from cards. I just bought them individually as opposed to pulling them from packs of cards. Some of my TCG pets... Actually, no, sorry. That's how I got the pets. The mounts I bought off the auction house. The pets I bought the codes for. The mounts I bought off the auction house because they don't soul bind. So somebody could claim it and then just sell it on the auction house. So all of those during Warlords, when I had all that gold from doing garrisons on 12 characters, I would just save up that gold and I would buy TCG mounts off the auction house. That's how I got the TCG mounts. That's right. I thought Drake of the Northwind was a heroic farm at first. Only farmed it once a day and got it. My luck with other mounts was bad though. When I get in a Griffin, I fly nothing for like 10 seconds. Any WoW NPCs you'd like to see come back to the current expansion, like John J. Keishan? Ooh, that's a good question. I think I didn't really get super invested in quest NPCs until BFA. Like, Flynn is the most fun character that I've seen them actually do. Like, I actually, in BFA, remember the names of questing NPCs. And you've got, like, Talia, and you've got Talia, and then you've got, okay, maybe Lucille. Maybe I don't remember all of their names, but I remember the characters, and I never really did that before. The only one that I can think of, aside from, like, Rel and Draenor, who I think were fine to leave her doing whatever it is she's doing. The only other one I remember is from Cataclysm, Johnny Awesome. We've had him a few times. He's made a couple of comebacks. I don't know if I want him back again. Oh, you know who? Actually, Maximilian of Northshire. The human that runs around Ungaro Crater slaying dinosaurs and calling them dragons. I relate to that so much because I always call dinosaurs dragons and vice versa. I can't keep them straight, apparently. That guy was great. Also, he was just doing his best, but he was so silly. Such a silly dude. Oh, only 9 days till baking? Oh, I have a good feeling. I think it's gonna go fine. It's just croissants. Croissants. I mean, the part that I'm not excited about is that I don't think I like croissants. At least, like, whenever I've had one, they look really good, and then I eat it, and then I'm like, and maybe that's just because I probably just had, like, grocery store croissants from, like, North American grocery stores, so they're probably not good. But, like, how are you supposed to eat it? Are you supposed to put jam on it? Are you supposed to have cream? Because, like, just eating it on its own is not worth it, at least in my opinion. The way I've done it, anyways. Can we see the battle tank? Battle tank. That one. I mean, it doesn't fly, so I'd have to wait until you actually get in there. The TCG mounts on eBay are a lot. Yeah, I was mistaken. I bought the pet codes, and those weren't that much. I don't think I paid any more than $20 for any given pet. The mounts I bought for gold back in Warlords, they were cheaper back then. They are more expensive now because they're not in production anymore, I believe. The card game has been discontinued for years now, so they're definitely more expensive. This is so early. You're right. This is unusually early. Successfully shared the ICC lockout with my alts today thanks to your video guide. I hope you get your mount soon. Or transmog. You could be there for transmog or pets, but probably the mount. I feel like most people probably farm ICC for Invincible. First stream I managed to catch, so excited. Welcome, Augusta. Thoughts on the crazy OP Zandalar racials? I don't think they're as OP now. They've been brought back a little bit. They increased, in the most recent PTR build, they increased the cooldown of regenerating in addition to it being cancelled by damage. So that makes it still really handy to have. Like, if you're questing and you're leveling and you've, like, taken a ton of damage, you don't have to, like, sit and eat or stop and spam heal yourself. Like, you can heal up really quickly. But it's not all that useful in combat because taking any damage will stop it. So, like, in a raid situation, sometimes you'll be able to pull it off and help out, but that's also, like, a bunch of time that you're not doing damage, assuming you're a DPS. It's not as OP as it could have been. There are other racials. The Embrace of the Loa thing I haven't looked too closely at because there's so many different ones that you can choose. And with them being on a 5-day cooldown, it's not like you can just flip back and forth real quick to have, like, your raiding one and then your questing one. So they're cool. I think they're probably stronger than the original racials, and I do think that they are intentionally, my opinion is that they are intentionally tuning new allied race racials to be stronger than old races to help encourage adoption of the new race, and then, like, an expansion down the road, they bring them back. It's the same thing they do with new classes. Just my opinion, just a guess. But I don't think they're as ridiculous anymore. I think the Culture and racials look pretty good. I don't think they're, like, broken anymore. But Brush It Off just looks so nice to have for a tank. And I was thinking, so next week is going to be, like, 815, obviously. And Culture and Zandalar come out. I'm not going to have Zandalar unlocked because I'm just not. But Culture Ed, I should. I need to do Siege of Borealis still, actually. I did the rest of the quest line, but I haven't quite finished. I need to do Siege of Borealis to get that last achievement. So after that, I'll have unlock Kil'Taran's, and then I'm gonna make an alt, and I can't decide if I want a Kil'Taran Resto Shaman all, like, set up as a Tide Sage, or what if I have a Kil'Taran Guardian Druid, a Wicker Bear Tank Druid? How cool would that be? The only thing that's kind of discouraging me from it is that of my allied race alts, I have a Dark Iron Warlock who's a DPS. I have a Lightforge Prop Heli who's a tank. So I could complete the trio with a Kil'Taran Resto Shaman and have a healer, or I could double up on tanks by making the Bear Druid. But the Bear Druid form is so cool. So I can't decide. I don't know. I went to buy some camouflage trousers the other day, but I couldn't find anything. Is there anything good in the Paragon caches? So there are things. There are no mounts this time. Several of the Paragon caches will have pets. Those pets tend to be cageable. So if you just want the pets, you can go buy them on the auction house. There's, like, the Cobalt Raven. There's the Violet Abyssal Eel. That sort of thing. There are some toys, and if you want the toys, like, for example, one of the toys there is from the Drustvar Paragon cache, this Bewitching tea set. Kind of neat. You can put down a tea set and you can have yourself some tea, and then I don't remember what else happens. I think you can, like, hear somebody. I think you can hear Abby, the character, whispering to you as you do that. I can't hear it right now. So there's some toys. The thing that I like about them is there is gold in each one. You get an average of 4k gold from each Paragon cache, and if you're getting them pretty frequently, that does add up. And the 7th Legion, or Honor-Bound Paragon cache, also contains 20 service medals every single time, and that has been a huge component of my service medal grinding. That's why I have the ring and both mounts and the ring, is because you can just grind out those emissaries really fast. I had a female beta named Penny. We had her about 4 or 5 years. That's such a cute name. Maximilian is great. How many mounts do you have now? More than 3 and less than 800. 416 total, at least on this character. Couple less for the meta achievement anyways. Do the tank druid. Let's do siege. What, like right now? Someone complimented me on my driveway. They left a little note on the windscreen. It said parking fine. Oh man. Attunement guide to see how close you are to the unlock for the races. Yes. You go to Wowhead. You go to... Hang on, let me do this on my other monitor so I can tell you exactly. I think it's Wowhead /attunements, but just in case, wowhead.com. Tools, Battle for Azeroth attunements. And it is wowhead.com/attunements. You can look up your character and it will tell you what you still need for unlocking allied races there. I just started doing islands with my new PC and no one told me water could look so pretty. Wait until you see some of the light shaft effects. Not all zones have them, but the sun shafts are gorgeous. I think they brought those out in Cataclysm. So excited for Zandalari. When in doubt, always go with what's cooler. But like a Kulturan Tide Sage would be really cool. Plus, if I'm a bear druid, while I do get to see a cool wicker bear, I don't get to see a Kulturan. Like the whole new allied race model is invisible to me while I am tanking. So I'm very much in doubt. Tide Sage, Rest of Shaman, right? Like the transmog options. You can't really transmog a bear. Like there's different forms, but the transmog options are awesome for the shaman. Oh, you mean Siege of Borealis. For some reason, I thought you wanted me to go do Siege of Orgrimmar. Why would you want me to go do Siege of Orgrimmar? I do not know. Life doesn't always make sense. Did a +10 siege last time my main, just missed the timer by a minute. Where's my ring? Did I not put on my ring this morning? That was an accident, just for reference. The tea is scary, a little girl whispers to you. Even if you level a druid as resto, you'll find yourself using the bear form, especially in PvP. Yeah. I need to get a lot better at timing my frenzied regeneration. Used to get more of them. It used to be on a much shorter cooldown in Legion and Warlord. So before, I have this habit of just like getting a bear and then just kind of like mashing it. So that's kind of what I do now. And then I'm like, oh no, my frenzied regeneration is gone. Oops. And then I die. It happens a lot. Thought about making a drawing stream? No. No. I can barely draw. I can't draw very well. I only do it for fun and so that I can give you guys something for like supporter rewards. And I don't think of it as an I'm selling my art thing. I think of it as more of a this is a drawing and you are all my collective grandmother putting it on your fridge because that's nice, right? That's kind of the mode in which I think of that. And I think it would stress me out a lot to try and do it on stream. Coming by to say I love your extremely helpful videos. Well, thank you. I need to go kill Jaina on my Horde ult to brush off the second war campaign. You must be close then. I still have to get so many toys. I want the lumber extractor, but I still need about 100 more. There's a lot of toys to get. I am kind of with you there. I also need to do a little bit more toy collecting. I am real close. I'm like 12 off from Brutus, and I would like him. I've actually been using the Alarmadog quite a bit lately. The Alarmadog from one of the best pets from the No Morgon Pet Dungeon, if you're not familiar, looks like this. So he's a little mech dog, kind of like Brutus, but like he's like a mech Doberman basically. And I use him when I take any character around to the 3 pet dailies that are like right outside of Stormwind. So if I've got an alt that I'm leveling, I'll just sort of fly it real quick down to Old MacDonald, Julia Stevens, and then down to Eric in Duskwood. And for Julia Stevens and Eric, they both use beast pets, and they're like really low level pets. So I can just take the Alarmadog and then click Haywire and then like finish the pet battle while I'm like doing something else. And you get like a full quest worth of experience for doing that every day. So sometimes I'll do that, and that actually lets me see my Alarmadog. Okay, so this is going to be the last one they let me in for a little bit. I'm going to need to take a 15 minutes or so of doing, probably, checking for world bosses. They're a normal thing. See what we can get. Way far off in the chat. I'm just trying not to miss too much stuff. You can get an add-on called Overachiever that lets you see progress in all achievements. Ooh, it's dangerous. This tea is just like a bagged breakfast tea. I've gone less fancy for my first tea of the day because I realized I don't taste it. I am not awake enough to really appreciate any flavor subtleties. So this is the Tazo Awake. I bought like a whole bunch of it just because of the nostalgia after somebody asked me what tea I used to drink. And this was like my high school and college, university breakfast tea. I would just buy it because it was cheap. I mean, it wasn't that cheap, but it was a good bag tea. So I'm having that again. Okay, so I'm not allowed let's try that sentence again. I am not allowed in any more instances for another 10 to 12 minutes or so. So let's log on to my world boss character and see if we can't spot any world bosses that are up. I don't know if it's apparent at all, but I have been trying very hard in my recent videos to speak more, not clearly. I think I always try to speak mostly clearly, but I don't need to speak as quickly as I do. And I think part of what makes me so stressed out when recording voiceovers is that I was just trying to go too fast because I could and because it felt natural, but I would get like all scrunched up and out of breath and frantic and hectic, and it just wasn't good. So I'm trying to learn how to speak at a more reasonable pace where I say the entirety of every word. You know, it's not like I have so many words that it's so important that I fit all of them into a tiny amount of time. And if somebody wants to listen to it faster, you can always play the videos faster. You can always go on YouTube, not for a live stream, but on YouTube, you can always go and change the playback speed to 1.25, 1.5, 2x if you want to really make me go. And that's fine. Like, I edit my videos on like 2 or 3x speed because I can understand myself and that makes editing faster. But I don't need to talk that fast originally. And also, I was kind of shortchanging myself with the length of my videos. YouTube favors watch time, and you get less watch time if you say everything that you need to say in 2.5 minutes because you say it very quickly. So I'm trying. I'm not perfect, but I am trying. Where am I going? Vale of Eternal Blossoms. We're going to check to see if there are any Mists of Pandaria world bosses up. Toy stream on Friday? Oh, maybe. Could do a toy stream on Friday. I still need to do some leveling on my Lightforged. Mount collector, toy, or pet? I would say pet, followed by mounts, followed by toys. But I resent that I would have to pick one. I can have all of them. I already did the Darkmoon pet battles. I did those first thing this morning. I have decided that I want the Darkmoon dirigible. Still have, I should Google how to pronounce that so I actually know. I don't know. I want that. Let me show you in case you are unfamiliar. It is for 1,000 Darkmoon tickets. It is awesome. And I need one. And 1,000 is a lot of tickets. I was kind of burnt out on the Darkmoon Fair ever since I finished my insane grind. Like, I'm exalted with the rep on my priest. And after that, I didn't really want to touch another Darkmoon thing. But I really do want that mount. So the compromise that I've made with myself is I will not make myself do all of the games because those are actually a fairly small percentage of the overall available tickets anyways. But I will turn in all of the, like, monthly turn-in items from, like, the dungeons and PvP and whatever, like the egg and the grimoire and whatever. I'll turn in all of those. You can buy them on the auction house. I'll turn in all of those. I will do the pet dailies every day because that's pretty big. I will do my profession weeklies, and that's it. So it's still going to take me ages to get the mount, but it'll be, I'm moving in the right direction. Fast Hazel is best Hazel. Only problem with the Friday stream is it's a little late. I need a password 8 characters long, so I picked Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Making a list on my mount tab. Mist has a lot of world boss mounts, and Kata has a thing for dungeon mounts. I loved how many dungeon mounts there were in Kata. I had a blast farming them all. I am partial to dungeon mounts because you can, especially, like, they're just a faster cadence, I guess. Like, you can farm them, spam farm them if they're available in normal, and then for heroics, you can just kind of set all your characters up, do the once per day, which is like a nice amount. And you don't really get that with, like, the raid mounts are very much a once a week thing, which fits with the stream schedule that I have. Weekly raid mounts are great for me to just farm them on a weekly stream. But, yeah. Okay. Cache of Shaw Touch Gold. Gold, gold, gold. No luck in the Shaw, but hey, at least I didn't have to wait for it to spawn. Speak from the diaphragm. How does that even work? It's actually a real... I promise it's a real thing, and it helps once you get the hang of it. I had diaphragm muscle training as part of my music education, which was kind of not money well spent, but it's one of the, like, proper breath support is one of the things that you learn in music. And if you are trying to speak clearly, especially if you're trying to use your best voice or put on a voice, having proper breath support helps a lot. And I can't explain it to you because I'm not a vocal coach. I'm not a vocal coach. That's not a thing. I'm not a vocal coach, but there's a problem with some YouTube videos that can help if you want to learn how to speak more, you know. Do you practice your scripts? Reciting it before recording can help with slowing as you speak. It actually has the opposite effect for me. As I practice them, I go faster because I get better at them and I can spit them out more quickly. So I have been doing better lately, and I've actually been preferring my delivery when I do it in as few takes as humanly possible. I'm trying to only let myself restart a take if I actually mispronounced a word horribly. And I'm even leaving a couple of mistakes in because I would rather it sound at least a little bit natural. It's very easy for me to go too far into the too rehearsed voice, which I'm sure I already do anyways. But I'm trying to cut down the amount of takes that I do because it wasn't working for me. 10-minute long videos. I tried the last two, the beginner pet guide and then the things in 815 are both 10-minute videos, but those both also took me an entire week to create. And while 10-minute videos are more profitable in just pure money terms than shorter than 10-minute videos, I don't think they're 3 times as profitable. So if I can make 3 3-minute videos in the time it takes me to make 1 10-minute videos, and if I can get 3 times as much info across, then I should probably just make the ones that I can actually get out consistently, because the one thing my channel is missing is I am not consistent with my video releases anymore, and I need to be. It's very important. So I'm fine with, I am the luckiest woman alive. I'm fine with trying to add enough to make them 10 minutes when it makes sense and when it's not detracting from the value of the video, but I can't just inflate anything to be that long. It does kind of bother me though when I've like made a video and I've spent like a couple of days on it and it's like 9.5 minutes and I'm like, man, if I had just talked slower. Over at 3.5k attempts on Galleon. 3.5, like 3,500 attempts? Yikes. Eek. Eek. Hey, I got a primal egg. That's weird. Did I open the refuse? I must have. Yeah. Alright, well, no luck there. That was my 16th attempt on the Direhorn. And we can pop down to Galleon to see if he's up. I'm actually going to need to kill more time if I catch all these world bosses up on the first try. Good evening, Hazel. How much have I missed? Love it when you stream. Have some lucky runs with the RNG gods by your side. Thanks, Johan. You haven't missed all that much. We don't have any mounts that we didn't have when we started, so pretty much all good. And following your BFA pets to level 1st, and it's fun so far? I do not have the Pandara and Phoenix mounts. I did not do challenge modes in Pandaria. I didn't do much in Pandaria, to be quite honest with you. I made YouTube videos and leveled pets and leveled alts and didn't raid and didn't PvP. It was a real waste of an expansion for me. I do one take unless I mess up every time. I had gotten into a really, like, gnarly headspace. I would have the worst time recording, especially for vlogs. I've had vlogs that were 5-minute vlogs where I've sat in front of a camera all morning just hating myself because I can't say, like, 8 words in a row. And I know it's all in my head. I just need to chill, and I'm trying, but it's hard. I speak more slowly as I memorize. An oral interpretation. Stanford's back. I've not been on YouTube. Grats on the 150k subs. Did we hit 150k subs? No way. No way. I don't think so. Nah. We're almost there though. We close. You scared me for a second. I thought that I just like done something real good and gotten a free 4,000 subs. Prefer the short raid videos. Can't get my raiders to sit through anything longer than 5 minutes. Raid videos specifically, I would never try to inflate to be any longer than they need to be. I like having those be as short as possible. I don't think I would ever try and like fit them into like a 2-minute window for like a 2-minute guide thing. I see the value in those, but I would rather take as much time as I need to get the point across, but then no more time than that. I like that for raid guides. But for stuff where there's like discussion or just like, you know, room to expand on something without taking away from the point of it, that's something where it makes more sense to do a longer video. Okay, so no dice on the world boss mounts, although we found them all up all at once, so that was miraculous. That's never happened before. What else could I do? I guess I could do those pet battles I was talking about, actually. Let me head back to Vale. This mage? She's 190. She's a boosted mage and she doesn't have any gear. They make 4 to 5 times more. 4 to 5? I guess I should actually look at the numbers. I am really disconnected from my analytics because they get in my head really easily. I would rather spend my time working on the video side of things and then hoping for the best. But if it is 4 to 5 times more, then it would make more sense to do just one a week. But I don't know. I don't know if I like that. What am I doing? I am doing some pet battles on my Lightforged. Performance anxiety? Yeah. Mine is like performance anxiety mixed with just self-loathing. Some days are better than others. Some days I can just sit down and do it and it's great and I'm happy with it. And then other days you don't want to, but it's Friday. Ugh. Classic is great for people that want classic and I don't intend to play. Really bad at talking in general, so I understand the difficulty of trying to say words right. I've always had issues with speaking too quickly. It really kicked me in the butt in sales. I had to try really hard to slow down my speech when I was trying to talk with people and sell them things, because if they can't understand me, then it's kind of like that scene from Finding Nemo where there's Nemo, or where there's Marlin and the little baby turtle, and he's like, "You're really cute, but I don't know what you're saying." I got that look from my customers a lot, especially if they were older and I was trying to talk them into like a tablet or something. Not something they don't need. I'm not a monster. But that was a problem for me. I remember one of my buddies at that job had asked me to like give him a practice pitch or something. And I gave it to him and he stared at me. He's like, what are you doing? Slow down. What am I doing? This paladin. That one. How can you tell if your voice recording is bad quality if you're just starting out with it? Do you mean like your performance or like the actual sound? Because the sound, you can identify specific issues. Like you can say, this is not consistent in volume. Parts of it are too loud. Parts of it are too quiet. It's crackly. There's background noise. Those are things that are pretty easy to pick out. But as far as whether or not you like your delivery, that's pretty personal. There are probably criteria. I don't know what they are. I will listen back to myself, and if I think it's clear and understandable and I don't want to cringe into a hole, then I usually go with it. In something like YouTube, you end up doing so much of it that you can't drive yourself crazy trying to make it perfect every time, because you'll never get anything done. World boss outside Throne of Thunder. Oh yeah, no, I don't have that mount yet. I don't really know how to get to the Throne of Thunder. And I've done it before, and you guys have told me how before, and we've gone and done it. I don't know. It's really far. I have the Huolong mount. I have all of the Warbringer's mounts. Elegon is within a raid, and I am purposely forgetting Nalek because I don't want to. Gotta go fast. I accidentally watched a makeup video the other day, and it was oddly interesting. Makeup videos are oddly interesting. I haven't... Every now and then I'll like get interested in trying to do something more exciting with my makeup, and I'll watch a few and then I'll get overwhelmed and then I'll give up. Is my cycle. But there are some people that are very good at what they do. Okay. See this. So for this one, I just like to use Ragnaros because I never get to use my shop pets. I try not to include shop pets in video strategies unless they're actually necessary, because, you know, pet battles are not really a pay-to-win game, so you don't need to use these things, but it's just kind of handy for this fight because he can do it all in 3 moves. The flamethrower takes out this guy because the afterburn will take out his resurrect. Use sulfurous smash on the bird because you want conflagrate to kill the critter who is resistant to your abilities. If you get a low roll with sulfurous smash, it won't kill the mouse, so you go with the conflagrate third, and then that wraps up that pet battle really quickly. So it's just about doing these as fast as you can because you get, you know, decent amount of experience for that. So we do that one. Then we head over to fight the snakes. Hate to hear my own voice. Super normal. Super normal. Part of the reason for it is that your voice sounds different to you when you hear yourself because of the way it resonates in your head than it does on recording. And we tend to prefer things that we're familiar with, that we've seen all the time. It's why you tend to like the songs that you grew up with. It's why you like your name. It's why you like the way you look in the mirror, but then you see yourself in a photo and you're like, who's that? Same principle. So super normal, and it is something that you get used to. Just subscribe to you. What's up, Kim? Welcome. My main's item level is like 403, 402, something like that. start farming Elegon again, but I'm burned out from the blue Proto-Drake. He's the only one I will farm until I get him. He will happen. So for this one, I press Haywire, and then I sit back and drink my tea, and that'll finish the whole pet battle. I would not agree that pet battles are the best part of the game. I think that they're fun, and they're cute. I think that they found a really good level of importance for the system, where there's lots to do if you're into it, but you don't feel like you're missing anything if you're not. I have guildies that don't touch pet battles ever, and that's perfectly fine, and they're not really missing out on it. Like, it's very well self-contained. A paladin or warlock cannot decide. If you like role switching, be a paladin. If you just want to do damage, be a warlock. And if you can't decide, be a warlock. Afternoon Hazel Septia, how you doing? Our little Rag and little Deathwing, good pets. Little Rag is pretty good. He's got a big fat attack stat. Little Deathwing comes in handy now and then. I don't use him as much as I use Rag. I guess he also has a big fat attack stat. He doesn't have like the combo the same way that that Rag does. Like Rag can just can fly, like flamethrower can fly great, and that's done. With this one, it takes a little longer for like the Elementium bolt to land, that kind of thing. He's good, but neither of them are really necessary. YouTube voice crackling bug again. Ugh. Ugh. Every YouTuber hates their voice at first. You do get used to it though. It's true. I love to hear my own voice. I sound just like Barry White. I want your mug. Mine. I don't think they sell these anymore, which is a bummer. I wonder if they sold well. They're pretty cool mugs. I remember at one of the BlizzCons they had the casters using these, and it was like the BlizzCon they started selling them on Blizzard gear. And I saw it and I'm like, you're right, I do need that, and I bought them. So I usually start with Alert because that takes out the first one, and then Haywire should do the second two. Trying to get Time Lost Proto-Drake. Feel like I'll never get it. Any recommendations? No. I would say give up, but that's not very nice. That's the choice I chose to take. They don't call it Time Lost Proto-Drake for nothing. You're a braver soul than I am. Okay, so there's those three. I'm gonna pop back up north. The other two quests that I like to do when I'm like leveling, but I don't want to actually go out and level, is sometimes in Stormwind I will do the Cataclysm cooking and fishing dailies, because they don't take very long, and you get a full quest worth of experience out of both of them. So those 5 quests are like a good little 20 minutes of questing when I don't want to actually go and do a dungeon or go out into a questing zone. I want to clothe my battle pets. You can buy pug costumes. I'm tired of my 370 ring being better than all my other rings. More bass in your voice from Bone Construction. Humans don't like change. This is true. Saw a Murloc mug at ThinkGeek, which is owned by GameStop. I've sold 2 of those dogs for 95k each. Oh, you're still doing Nomuragon? Oh, you're braver than me. I got my 3 pets and I got out, and I'm not going back. You can't make me. It takes too long. I'm sure it's worth it. Like you said, if you've made 200k, it's probably worth the time. But if I'm not enjoying a grind, I don't care how profitable it is, I'm not doing it. If I'm not having fun, I've missed the point. It's not okay anymore. So this one's pretty easy. You just got to fish up the monkfish. I have like a teeny tiny bit of cooking or fishing skill on this character because you need a little bit of it for some of them. And then the catfish, you can actually fish this up too, but they'll spawn in barrels like on the docks. How long have you been streaming for? Like today or overall? Today I've been streaming for 1 hour and 13 minutes, which usually brings us close to the end of our stream. I'm just kind of killing time until my dungeon lockout resets. And then we'll do one last final dramatic try for the Armored Rizashi Raptor, and then I'll be done. Overall, though, I've been streaming, not on YouTube for a few years, but then, has it been years? I don't know, a while. On Twitch before that. I think I started streaming on Twitch in like 2015, 2016, something like that. How do you unlock the daily zone pet battles that you're doing? I'm not able to do them daily. You need to finish, there's an achievement. You need to like do all of them. I think it's which one is it? Battle. You need to do all of the tamers, and you'll unlock the daily after you finish doing them all. I forgot that they're not unlocked originally. Which achievement is it? Well, I don't know. But there's an achievement for doing all of the tamers, so you probably need to do some more of them. And if you've been doing them on only one character, you may need to do them on an opposite faction character. There's one of the achievements that's like to beat 60 Master Tamers, I think. That's way easier if you just do a couple of the ones that are faction specific. What pet would you win? Water Elemental or Fell Hunter in a pet battle? I mean, is there a Fell Hunter battle pet? Because I know there's Water Elemental battle pets. You could probably actually test that. I would assume that a Water Elemental pet would have like Elemental and Aquatic moves. So you would be doing reduced damage against magic with the aquatic stuff. If the demon pet counted as a magic pet, then I guess it would win because it's got a defensive advantage. Hard to say. Nomergon dungeon back at vanilla. I hated that so much. I like Nomergon a lot more once I finally had learned the layout of it. It took me a while. It took me until I was farming it for Transmog, I think. Like when I first got Minar's Wardrobe Helper, I think I missed a fish. When I first got Minar's Wardrobe Helper, I went through like the early dungeons and started farming them to get like all of the Transmog that I could out of them. And that was one of the ones that I did, and I actually learned my way around it. So I like it better now that I know where everything is and I know what I can skip. Doing the whole thing is like a nightmare though, especially if people are getting lost in areas, because there's whole huge areas of that dungeon that you don't need to go. There's nothing for you there. Are you going to make a culturist human priest? No. I thought about it. Actually, I thought about making a Zandalari priest. I was tossing around the idea of, instead of race changing my troll to Zandalari after unlocking them, I was kind of messing with the idea of leveling a new Zandalari. But I couldn't think of a class that I really wanted to be aside from a troll, or aside from a druid, other than maybe a Zandalari priest. But then I was like, I have so many priests. Do I need more priests? I do not play Fortnite, no. H82 Battle Royale, you heard it here first. Ooh, Fell Hunter pet is Nibbles? Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. It's like a fancy Fell Hunter. Cause do the Warlock Fell Hunters look like that? I mean, obviously it's a different model, but are they supposed to be the same animal? I don't remember what a Warlock Fell Hunter pet looks like now, I've forgotten. Just found your stream last week. Appreciated having your vids on in the background while I work during the day. Awesome job with the stream. Thanks, Matt. Good luck with your work. So, making a Zandalari Druid. It's so hard to want to be a Zandalari anything else after you've seen their Druid forms. They just have the world's... Hang on, I actually finished my quest. Or I got the monkfish anyways, so we fillet that open. There we go. Their Druid forms are just so good. Could be a dinosaur. Of course I like the new Zandalari Druid forms. What kind of monster doesn't like the new Zandalari Druid forms? I have Nibbles, and if you get the Fell Hunter mount out, it falls in love? Hang on. Hang on. What? Let's see. Calm down. Hold your horses. Nibbles. It was Legion Collector's Edition. And then, I thought the Fell Stalker, also Legion Collector's Edition, yeah. Oh my god, it does! Aww. Do you think this is its mom? Do you think they're like a happy Fellstalker family? It's a neat mount that I don't ride very much. I feel like you need the right... Maybe on a Warlock. Maybe my Dark-Iron Warlock should ride this thing around. Where am I going? I'm looking for more catfish. I could try to just fish them up, but I always like stealing them off the docks. I want gnome druids very badly. I want them to have mechanical animal forms that they get into like Diva. I think that would be wonderful. Missed opportunity. And, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if you reused some existing mechanical animal models. They wouldn't, you know, they would probably make them like super fresh and pretty and new and take a lot of time to do it, but you could just have it climb into like the existing mechanical bear. We've got a mechanical bear form. We've got a mechanical cat. They already have animations. Sandalari Headhunter, Survival Hunter? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I was kind of thinking of Zandalari BM Hunter with like dinosaur pets. That'd be kind of neat. But I have a hard time making new BM Hunter alts because I already have like the spirit beast that I want on my existing BM Hunter. So trying to convince myself to make another one that won't have access to the spirit beast is rough. Alright, 2 more quests to turn in, and then we should be able to do our final... what do you call it? Zandalari... Zul'Gurub run. Zul'Gurub run. Do you want to take your class? My mic is broken. You might need to just refresh your page, especially if you're using Firefox. There is a YouTube stream issue. There's like a hidden internal counter in my mind. And I don't know what the number is, but one day it's going to reach a number where I've heard about the mic thing enough times that I just like throw my hands up in the air and move everything over to Twitch in one day. I don't know what that day is going to be, but it could happen. Okay. So those 2 done. We're like halfway through level 74. One of these days I'll actually do some more questing. I think questing is faster than dungeons. I don't really like questing because I don't really do all that much damage as prot, and I can go ret, but I'm really useless as ret. I don't really know what I'm doing. You know, you like hit the single target button, and then you either like Divine Storm or Templar's Verdict, and that's kind of all I got. Sound is flawless here. Yeah, it's YouTube. And it's odd because it's the only real problem I've had with them that has been their fault. I've had a few problems that I thought were them that were my fault. It's the only problem that I've had that I can actually pin on YouTube. Overall, their service is pretty good. And I'm not real excited about Twitch as a company. I don't know if I really want to tie my horses over there. At least this one's been working. I need a second screen before I get going on Twitch. Hi Hazel, how it goes? It's up, Spencer. It's going pretty good. I am about to take my 100 and something, 80 something. We're getting kind of close to 200 attempts. Raptor going, 305 tries myself, no luck. We're at like 180 something. If I could get like, I guess I could do 10 tries and like forget the 11th one. If I could do like a 10 tries in a clean hour, we could do that every day, theoretically. Do you think they'll ever go back to making class gear sets for raids? Absolutely, yeah. There's been too much pushback against the armor type specific ones. I think that they would go back to doing class ones. This is just kind of like a different thing that they're trying. Maybe they'll stick with it. I don't know. I am not as partial to class sets as some people. I like the sets that we're getting, and I don't really mind that there aren't as many of them, but that's because I'm just playing one class anyways. And I haven't liked a lot of priest gear recently for a while. So I'm alright with it, but I definitely get why some people aren't. Got the Raptor in like 5 tries. 180 tries. Snort. Scoff. Too much bro culture on Twitch. The Twitch culture is definitely, I would say, different, but YouTube doesn't really have a culture because there isn't really a YouTube streaming community that I know of. It's mostly just like a YouTuber that streams on YouTube will have their YouTube stream. And that's very much based around who they are as a YouTuber, and that's kind of the end of it. Twitch at least has a culture, and it has opportunities to meet new people and interact with other streamers in a way that YouTube just doesn't have the tools for. I have made some mistakes. Shall we try this again? Yeah. Oh, no. Left. I promise I'm capable, qualified to make it up this hill. Got it. There's a new streaming service. I'll have to double check the website though. I probably would not jump onto an unestablished service. I would be a very late bandwagon joiner if there was something new. Did not realize that hair color changed the color of the druid forms. Now I have to make even more decisions for my Z-Troll. You only got a week left. Better get on it. That's not a mount. Yeah, that was attempt number 192 according to my rarity add-on. No luck today. We say indignant noises. I like that one. No booze in the tea. It's 10 in the morning. I drink at night. Thank you guys very much for watching. I wish you a wonderful Tuesday. Look at my fish. Aren't they cute? Actually, where are they? All right. Well, look at my plants. They're cute too. Thanks for checking out the stream. I'll have videos ready when they are ready. I believe in myself, so maybe there will be more. And excited for patch next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys.